My complete name is Ana Magdalena Camargo. I'm from Medellin, but I was raised in Bogota. So that's where I started like into music. I started with music really young. I used to sing when I was like a little child in the school chorus. Then at 15, I asked for a drum set for my birthday, and I started a punk band called Quinta Criminal. And then at the age of around getting close to 20, I was really curious about raves and electronic music parties. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is doing music by himself. He doesn't need a band. He's performing on his own. And I said, I want to be a DJ. So I sold my drum set and bought a mixer, a Gemini 2-channel mixer. I started studying at a school with Fabio Alzate, which was a really famous 80s music DJ from Colombia. So it all started there. I started playing techno, then I got a lot into trance and progressive music. Then I got into a lot of electro and acid, and then it was like a mix of all the things that I like, and got to the thing that I'm like playing now, which is a mix between techno and industrial and a lot of things from breaks and electro, but really hot, really strong, and really dark sometimes. But yeah, really good to party. I started producing music, maybe it was around 2007. I started more like producing music with vocals, so no techno music. And then I started a project called Magdalena CO project, which was a electronic trip hop project. Then it became a live project. Made an album for a label from here that is called Ether, but it was more like experimental, modular, kind of noisy release with that same AKA. I started my label, which is Broken Mind Recordings. We have 3 releases on vinyl, and we have a lot of digital releases, and almost 99% of the releases are from Latin American artists, which is like my main goal with the label. And be able to show to the world what local artists, national artists, and Latin American artists do about electronic music. The crowd in Medellin is, for me, is the best crowd ever, because they're really open and they're really friendly. And it is like, for me, I understand them and they understand me. So it is not this thing that you don't know what to play, or that you play always the same because you know they like this. It is like they are open to these new sounds, and they support a lot their local artists, and as well for the international artists. So you have a lot of kind of small places for 150 people with lovely energy, concept and sound. And we have this scene has grown a lot. And even if you have the differences between collectives or different groups of people, it's the scene that mostly help each other. And we are like not having a specific sound, and that's even better, because we now have like a lot of different kind of artists and a lot of different kind of music, which makes it more rich. And about artists, we have a lot of good artists and live back. Berlin has its own sound in techno. Detroit has its own techno sound. The UK has its really own techno sound. At the moment that we stop trying to copy the styles from another countries and another cities, and realize that we have a lot of history to get inspired by. We have a lot of experience to inspire music in, because Detroit techno is inspired in what happened in Detroit, the UK as well, Berlin. We all have different stories. So at the time that we realize that we have our own story and make the music inspiring in that, we will start having our own sound. And I think maybe this is starting to happen. I think we're starting, at least as the way of mixing and the artists that we are starting to have this these sounds that can say that that comes from Colombia. So we have to help that improve and become stronger and develop more. But still, we have a lot of different sounds. It's not only techno, but we have we are starting to have a really big like EVM crowd and collectives that are into this music, and it is quite fun because you can mix this pretty well with the techno scene. So I think Colombia is like its weather or its people, that is a mix of everything. So I think the sound of Colombia techno will be that mix of all these little details from all the country and from all over the world. Yeah, and more lately, because it's like sometimes people say that techno music is not about politics, but it is really. I don't think that. I think music is about expressing yourself. And here, because we have this shitty government and these corrupted politicians, it's like, how else are you gonna express that, your frustration about it? Because, for example, we were on a strike. I think there are some cities that are still on a strike. I'm not the kind of person that is gonna go out and fight with the police or everything, because I'm a pretty bad runner to start. So I would be no good at that, not help at all. And I'm really intense, emotional. So if I see something bad is happening, it will be like, and probably I will get like really hysteric and do something that I will regret. So what can I do about it? I want to help the people that are like protesting for our own rights. So what can I do? Music. That's the only thing I can do. So we with the strikes, and actually it was worldwide, that a lot of compilations were made to help have fundings for the people that were like in front line, in first line, fighting for rights. So yeah, it's really political. It's impossible to be away from it. To start in first personal, I cannot complain completely about the complete lockdown. I wasn't. I went to Bogota for those 9 months, and it was for me a moment to stop, because I was getting really full of traveling and DJing. So I had the chance to spend it in a safe place with nice people. So I had the time to disconnect and just relax and think about me, to see, okay, what is going right, what is going bad, so what we have to fix, and how can we move forward. But yeah, it got to a time that you started to feel a little anxious, because it was, okay, my savings are running out, and I was in a really good position at the time, so I was lucky. So I'm sure that there wasn't some people that were lucky as I was, so I was grateful for it. But it came a time that I was like, okay, what can I do now if I cannot DJ? And that's the way I earn the money to live. There was a lot of bars and a lot of clubs that had to shut down forever, which was like really sad. At the beginning of the pandemic, I received a message. I saw a message from the local government, and they were like actually just given 160,000 pesos, which is like 50 euros per month, just for 3 months. That was all for artists. So it was like, that is just enough to pay my health service or my phone. I really don't know how many people got like through this, because it was like really not help from the government at all. When they started like to reopen again little by little, well, there has been a lot of support between the scene and the people from the clubs, the bars, the restaurants, don't matter what kind of music they play, the nightlife. So these people got all together to kind of support each other and save the nightlife from. You didn't realize before that if you got together with people, you can if you unite with people, you can support each other and pass through the bad times. But yeah, this pandemic made us realize that, and I think we got to this point that we support each other and we are like all together in this. Well, for me, I see it with pretty good eyes. To start in personal, I want to take the label finally to a next level. So I'm really happy with it. And with the Kubo streaming, we are just starting, and it is like having a really good response. So I think that project is gonna grow a lot, and it's gonna help a lot of people to be visualized in other countries or everywhere. And we have a lot of plans with the Kubo stream, not just to do streaming. So we want to make parties, and we want to have like nights called Kubo and different events and different kind of streamings, or maybe stream on the streets and work with the Museum of Modern Art for Medellin and things like that. So we are making like a lot of connections there. And about the scene in general, I think it's getting stronger than ever. And I think it's growing a lot because, for example, we have really bad government and we have a lot of bad things in our country, but at the same time, we still have gigs. So it is like almost the few countries in the world that been having gigs. So it is like we didn't stop, for example. It has been like a comeback for a lot of artists from overseas that have come play here that haven't played for months. So it's like, it's growing a lot. It's finally Colombia is like being the center of support of a global musical scene. So that's pretty good. We have an issue in Colombia, which is sometimes it's hard to be supported being a local artist. And this sometimes can sound bad, but it's the reality is that sometimes artists from overseas get paid really well here, and we are not a rich country, and that's really unfair because for us to travel to Europe and get gigs in Europe is sometimes impossible. So it is like really unfair that people from overseas get paid well more than the local artists. So there's a lot of colleagues that think the same way, and I think it's become a thing of supporting the local thing, the local scene, the local artist. And we are starting to learn to listen to new sounds from other artists of the same country, and realize that the different kind of music doesn't mean that it's bad. It is actually so good to know that we have so many different influences and so many different sounds and so many different talents and so much quality. So I think this pandemic helped people understand and realize that it's not bad to have sounds from overseas. It's really good when people come here because that reaches the inspiration, and when you see and when you listen to something new, you get like new ideas and stuff. So I love that exchange. I love that. But they finally are starting, at least a small group of people, including myself, is starting to see from inside to outside and not in the different way.